To another video in the series of coding. Today we are going to do the problem which is called max area of island. So you are given a grid, and basically an island is a group of ones which are connected in all the four directions. The area of an island is just the number of cells with a value 1. You have to return the max area of an island in the grid. So let's try to take an example, because always it's better to understand pictorially. So you can see that blue is water, and the cells which are having zero value, they are marked in blue color because everything is water. But the yellow or red color cells are islands. So we have to find the maximum area. So first let's try to see in this problem. You can see lot of islands are there. Like for example, this island, this is having a size of 1, and you can see that you have this island which is having a size of 4, and you can see that you have this island which is having a size of 4 again, and you have this island which is having a size of 5, and you have this island which is having a size of 5. But there is this island which is having the maximum size among all, because it is having the size of 6. And what do we mean by size? Just the number of cells which are having number 1. So you see here there are 6 cells, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 cells which are having the number 1, and they are connected to each other. So 6 is the answer for this. But how do you actually reach to the answer? What is the approach that we are going to follow? So let's look at that. So let me just erase this. So we are going to start iterating one by one through all cells. So let me write the steps that we are going to follow, right? So our first step is, iterate. So let me write. We are going to iterate through all cells, and we are going to look for whichever cells are going to have the number 1. Okay. Now, do we need to iterate through all cells? So you see, simplest logic is, do we need to check whether this cell is an island or not? No, we do not, because it's anyway having value 0. So how can it be an island? Okay, it doesn't matter if its neighbors are island, but this cell is not going to contribute in any way. Okay, so check only for the cells which are having value 1. Okay, this is our first step. We are going to iterate through cells, but only those which are having value 1. Okay, this is our first step. Now what is our next step? So our second step will be, you have to check for its neighbors. Why do you have to check for its neighbors? Because its neighbors only cluster together, and they are going to form the group which can contribute to form the maximum area. So you have to recursively call its neighbors. Okay, so you have to call the function on neighbors. Okay, so we are going to use recursion, and we are going to call its neighbors one by one. So that is the logic. And then one more step is step number 3, that is very very critical and important, and we will look at that. So to identify what is the step 3 that we have to do, okay, let's start doing the step 1 and step 2, and let's realize which is the critical step that we have not yet listed. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to iterate through all the cells. So first we see this cell, this is anyway having value of 0, so it cannot be an island, so we'll just ignore it. Okay, we'll go to the next cell, it's also having value 0, we'll ignore it. We have reached this cell. Now this cell is having value 1, so what do we do? Okay, we can keep a variable count to find out how many cells near it are having value 1. Okay, now you see all of its neighbors are basically useless. Everything is water, right? All its neighbors will say, I'm water, I can't help you. So uh, all its neighbors will just return 0. So this guy, its top neighbor is out of bounds, its right, left and down neighbor are going to return 0. So this guy is singleton, so its count is just 1. Okay, now we will go forward to the next cell. So these cells are also useless. Now we will reach this particular cell. Now what is this cell? This cell is very proud, right? It is having value 1, it is satisfying the first step. So what we have to do, we have to go to second step. What is second step? Check for its neighbors. Okay, so we are going to see if its neighbors are having value 1. So it will call its right neighbor, it will say I am having value 0. It will call its top neighbor, it will say I am out of bounds. It will call its left neighbor, it will say I am having value 0. But when it calls its down neighbor or its below neighbor, it will be very happy. Its neighbor will say, Array, I am having value 1. So it is very good. I can help you in forming island and increasing your area. So what will this guy do? This guy will again call its neighbor. So it will enter into the function call of its right neighbor. It will call its right neighbor. Then this guy will also call its right neighbor. What happens now when this guy calls its right neighbor? It will return 0. This guy will also return 0. Its down neighbor will also return 0. So now we will start backtracking. Okay. So we will return back to the function call of this guy, then this guy, then this guy finally, and you will see that count is 4 for this particular case. All the function calls will return back. All these neighbors are just useless. So finally it will come back and function call will return back and you will have count as 4. Okay. Now let's keep proceeding. So all these cells have been traversed. We'll go to this cell, this cell, this cell. Okay. So we'll just start iterating all the cells. Now what will happen is, once you keep doing this, okay, now you will reach this particular cell again. So this is where we have to take note of. Okay, so this particular cell which I'm marking in violet, you will reach it again because you're iterating over all cells from the beginning, right? So you will reach this particular cell again, and what happens now? Okay, very interesting thing happens. So note this. So let me just erase some of this so that you can observe it very carefully. So observe it very carefully. What will happen is, this particular cell, okay, marked in green, this particular cell is going to make a recursive call to what? It's going to make a recursive call to all of its neighbors. Why? Because it's having value 1. So it will call its, let's say it will call its right neighbor first. Okay. Now what happens when it calls its right neighbor? Its right neighbor is going to, okay, its right neighbor is going to get called. Now what happens to the right neighbor? Right neighbor will also make recursive call to everyone, right? So right neighbor will make recursive call to its right neighbor, top neighbor, below neighbor, left neighbor. So right neighbor will also call this guy again. So can you see this thing here? I will just zoom it so that it is more and more clear. It's very important to understand this concept. So what is happening is, okay, this guy is going to call its left neighbor. Now what happens? This guy will again call its neighbors. You have again entered into the function call of first cell. What will the first cell do? First cell will again call its right neighbor. What will right neighbor do? When right neighbor or the second guy is calling its neighbors, it will again call the first guy. What will first guy do? First guy has to call all its neighbors to check for maximum area. It will again call the second guy. What will happen? This will keep on continuing, and you will actually face a timeout situation because recursive calls will never end. This guy will keep calling its neighbor, this guy will also keep calling its neighbor, so they will be stuck in an infinite loop. So this is the concept which is very very important. You have to consider this. What can you do to ignore this concept? So I mean, to ignore this recursive infinite loops, so you have to backtrack. While backtracking, you have to make the value 0. So once in the beginning itself, first you had entered the recursive call of all these cells, so why do you want to enter it again? So it's very important that you make all of these as 0. Okay, so very important, make, once you have visited something which is having value 1, make its value as 0. So these are three important steps, that's it, that you need to understand, and you can write code. Finally we can return the maximum area. So let's write code for this. So let me start iterating over all the cells. So for int I equal to 0, I less than m, I plus plus, and we iterate over the column vector. Now I have not declared m and n, I know that, so I should declare that, otherwise it will give me error. So m is just the number of rows, and how do you find the number of rows? You just do grid dot size. So this is number of rows. And what is n? N is number of columns. How do you find number of columns? You can give grid 0 dot size. So this will give number of columns. And now we can iterate over the entire thing. But do we need to iterate over the entire thing? No, we need to only iterate. Okay, check if value is 1, and then only you need to do the function call. So what is, how do you check the values? One simple, right? Grid of ij is equal to 1. Okay, you can simply give grid of ij also here, because if grid of I comma j is equal to 0, then this will be false. If it is a positive number, it will be true. So you can either give this, or you can give the give the double equal to sign. So if it is 1, then what you have to do? You have to basically, let's say we count the island cluster. And how do you count that? So this is a function that I will declare below. So first you pass grid as the parameter, then you pass I, then you pass j as the parameter, and we will also pass a variable count. We are going to count the cluster size or the area. So how do you do that? So first we will make count as 1, because if its um, value is 1, we have at least one size, right? That own cell. So grid of ij, it is having value 1. So its count has to be 1 minimum. And now we can declare a variable max, which we can finally return. So which is going to be maximum of the current max versus the count that we are returning. And finally we can return max. Now I know that I have not declared max also, so I will declare max. So max equal to 0. Okay, everything is fine. Now we can declare the count island function. So how do you do that? So we just declare count island function here, and we are going to first pass the parameter, which is simply grid. So I will just copy this parameter here, and then we are going to pass the parameter I for the number of row, for the row, particular row, j for the particular column, and I am going to pass a variable count. Now I will pass this as reference, because if its value changes, it has to be reflected in the final count. Okay, now this will return int, and what we are going to do is we are going to write the definition in this function. So it's very easy. What is the first condition? You have to simply check if it is within bounds. So because if it is not, then you can simply return 0. So how do you check if it's within bounds? So when does it go out of bounds? If I is less than 0 or j is less than 0, if anything becomes negative, or let's say I is greater than equal to m, or let's say j is greater than equal to n, in all these cases it's going to go out of bounds, so you can simply return 0. Okay, now you can also give one more condition. What is that? So if a grid of ij is equal to 0, then in that case also you can return 0, right? You need not waste your time, and you need not check. So if the neighbor is having value 0, neighbor is useless. So let me write it here, useless neighbor. We need not waste time talking to such neighbors, and they don't contribute. Okay, so that's it. Now as said, we have to keep count of the backtracking function, very very important, because if you don't make the grid of ij as 0, you will run into the time limit exceeded problem. You will run into the infinite recursive calls, which we just saw in the logic. Now what we have to do, we have to call the neighbors. We have to check the neighbors, call the neighbors, and see if they are helpful or not. So how do you see if the neighbors are helpful or not? You have to call them and check if they're helpful or not. Okay, if they're returning your call positively, then they are helpful neighbors. So how do you do that? So simply calling the neighbor. So we will just pass a count island. Okay, and what we are going to do, we are going to pass the parameter. So grid. So first let me call the neighbor I minus 1. So which is this neighbor? We are just decrementing the row value. So we are calling the above neighbor. Okay, so this is above neighbor. We are going to call it, and we will let the j value remain same. And what we are going to do? We are going to pass count also. So if this neighbor is useful neighbor, okay, then means it will return 1. So if it is useful neighbor or it's returning 1, okay, so you need not give 1 also, you can simply let it be like that. Or if you want, you can give 1. Both are going to be same only. Then you can increment the count. So if it is a helpful neighbor, it will aid in the cluster size increment. Okay, and I will simply give these all these function calls one by one time I minus 1 one time, I plus 1 one time, I will give j minus 1, and one time I will give j plus 1. So I am sure that you have understood these 4 recursive calls. This is for above neighbor, this is for below neighbor, this is for left neighbor, and here we are incrementing the j. So this is for right neighbor. Okay, so we are calling the neighbors one by one. And in this case, what we are going to do, we are going to increment the count if the neighbor returns a positive value. So how will it return a positive value? So you can give return 1 after these calls. Okay, so that's it. And this should hopefully work. Let me run and see if it is working. So there is a compile error identifier m. So yes, okay, I haven't given m and n here. So either I can pass m and n here, or I can simply give grid dot size here, because I'm anyway passing the grid, and n also I can simply give grid of 0 dot size. So that is fine, and now I think it should work. So it's fine, and let me just submit and see if it's working. So it's working, not really, because there is a wrong answer. My output is 1, but expected is 0. Okay, because in this condition also, what is happening is, unfortunately, count is becoming, count is 1. Okay, so that is the condition. So I should actually give this inside bracket, that is causing the problem. So it's very important, this if this under the if, the condition should be inside bracket, otherwise your max will increment. So that is something which I should have taken care of, but I hope it should be fine. Yes, it's accepted. Thank you for being patient and listening.